Hello, y'all. I'm on this exercise bike tonight, and I am hoping that you all had a wonderful day with your friends and family and your closest loved ones. And I had the best day possible that I could have. So, this video is going to be about Hoovers. Okay, so there's a YouTuber, and I think I am going to start a playlist based on some of the narcissist videos that I watch. But remember, I don't copy information. So you're not going to Google the coffee mug narcissist and find a video like that. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So for those of y'all that are subscribed, and I thank you so much for your subscription, even though I don't have a million subscribers, thank goodness, because I couldn't handle that, y'all. Okay, so that may make me retire from the game completely. However, people that subscribe here notice that I give some unique information from my perspective and the perspective of people that have gone through certain things, because not everything I talk about have I went through. I've either went through it, seen it, or know about it. Okay, so remember that. So this one sister, and a sister does not have to be a black woman. Let's point that out. Yes, sisters are black, white, what America calls black and white, which I don't really prefer those terms because it does nothing for DNA. Okay, people that are from African descent, European descent, Asian, Hawaiian, Korean, whatever background they come from, African, etc., Greek, Russian, whatever. If I didn't point out your nationality, I apologize. I'm just naming the basics, right? So we have to remember this, that we're all sisters and brothers on some level, or we want to recognize each other as such, right? So this sister did a video about Hoovers, and she names the 10 most common Hoovers. But remember, I'm here to point out something that maybe nobody has mentioned yet. Okay, so we know what the Hoovers are. You're trying to get sucked back in by the narcissist, or the narcissist, sociopath, is psychopath is trying to suck you back into something that does not benefit you, something that's very toxic. So I want to point out a specific type of Hoover. Because yes, the phone call itself, the text itself, the visit from them, whether they're coming to your jobs, coming to your events, whatever, those are all Hoovers. But there's a specific type of Hoover that will get you every single time. And it's called the memory lane Hoover. So, y'all, I'm on this exercise bike. So if you hear anything, I'm on this bike. So the memory lane Hoover works like this. It's sort of a last resort Hoover. A memory lane Hoover works in situations where you've known the narcissistic person or the narcissist for a long period of time or an extended period, normally at least 2 years or more. So anywhere from 2 to 100 years, you've known this narcissist, right? And this Hoover will come out of the blue because it will most likely, in some cases, be something that you've already settled. Okay, so I will give you an example of my situation. The place that I met my ex-narcissist, it was a location. Inside of this particular location, there was a concert going on. So there were singers and stuff on stage. So at that time, my narcissist was with a couple of his friends, right? And the first particular day or night that I met the narcissist at this event, I was there alone. I was not there with friends. I went out there to this particular place to grab something to eat, see a concert that was going on indoors that was pretty much free, that went along with your entry or whatever. I'm not sure if it was free or not. I know it was part of what was in the building, right? So, going on with this is when I met the narcissist. So, what happened was when the first discard happened and the narcissist ghosted, fell off the face of the map, at that time I did not know this was even a narcissist, right? I'm thinking this is something very special. And it was very special. That's why I'm here. So we can always turn something toxic into something good. So I remember the narcissist and I never went back to that place. Even if we went out in public, we did not go back to the location that we met ever. And that's by design, right? So the reason the narcissist does this by not going back to the location that you two first met, in my opinion, it's a form of a punishment. And it's also because the narcissist is showing you that he or she lacks empathy already. Because think about it, regular customers, not customers, regular couples. You can tell I work with customers way too long, y'all. You notice how I said customers? I'm so crazy. So, regular couples, okay, they will oftentimes visit, if possible, if they're in the same state of the place that they first met, they may from time to time go visit that location. So, say for example, a couple met in college, and that college is in their hometown where they're married and residing. They may go together sometimes and go hang out with or meet up with old teachers that were at the college. Maybe this particular couple had classes together and they had their favorite professors at this college. So that empathetic couple will go back to that college because that's part of their beautiful memory of meeting because they met in college, right? However, when I look back on it, that was one of the signs that I was dealing with a narcissist or someone that's at a minimum narcissistic. Someone that's narcissistic just has a drop of empathy, not very much of it. So, myself and my ex narcissist, we did not go back to this location, right? Never. We never went back to this location, even though we went out to other places. So, what the narcissist is showing is that he or she lacks empathy. They're not connected with you. So, because they're not connected with you, that location that y'all used to go to don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything for a while. Okay, now hang in here with me now because I'm getting ready to get to this point. It doesn't mean anything for a while. However, as this narcissist loses their control upon you or on you, they have to pull out the memory lane Hoover. Okay? And the way this is done, it's not by taking you to that location. So the narcissist is not going to wake up one day, knock on your door, and say, let's go to the location that we first met at. Because remember, narcissists are very fearful of the attachment in general. They avoid attachment at all costs. That's one of their problems. Their inability to attach and their lack of interest in properly attaching. And this could even be with their own mama or daddy, especially if you're dealing with a psychopath. Okay, so a psychopath is going to struggle even more with this because of the psychopathy. So the memory lane Hoover kind of works like this. This is how it worked in my situation. So the narcissist made a phone call to me, right? And let me point this out too. The narcissist is not taking you to the location where y'all first met, but this narcissist is still going to this location with his or her friends. So let me point that out. You're not going, even though the narcissist goes other places with you. And the reason the narcissist is doing it this way, this may be the narcissist spot where he's pulling in new victims. So this particular concert location, this particular restaurant that you met this narcissist at, this is his stumping ground and his main point of pickup for victims. Okay? And think about it. It's something like a concert. You can pull in a lot of different type of victims. You can get the school teacher there. You can get the government worker, the Uber driver, the drunk, the not so drunk, the heroin addict, the business owner. There's a variety of people at concerts. Religious people go to concerts. You got so many victims that can be picked up. So this is what the narcissist does. This is when the narcissist is losing a lot of leverage on you. So he has to pull this out. This is one of his last hopes, this memory lane Hoover. So in the beginning, when the narcissist, we never went back to this particular location, right? I went back there by myself at one time. When there was a discard done early on in the relationship, I went back there. And it was a very sad moment for me that particular day that I went back. And it was sad for me because I had this wonderful memory of meeting this narcissist at the time, not knowing he's a narcissist, not recognizing he's a narcissist. And he was not there with me. I also told the narcissist that I went back there where we first met, and I thought of the wonderful moments of when we first met. At that time, the narcissist communicated with me through text. So that's a heartless way to communicate with somebody, y'all, when they telling you they at the spot that y'all first met and they miss you. So, but that's what narcissists are. They're heartless. Some narcissists are heartless, okay? So, and when they're showing their real self, they're just heartless. That's just the bottom line. So this memory lane Hoover that happened for me, remember, okay, you're being Hoovered to get the phone call or whatever. In my case, the narcissist is no longer coming in my home. It doesn't happen. You can Hoover over the phone. You can do whatever you want to do, but you ain't coming in the house. Okay. And I don't care what the situation is. You just not coming, period. So this memory lane Hoover, this is how it went down. He tells me this. He says, well, you remember such and such. I don't want to say the person's name. This is one of the friends that was with him hanging out the same night we met, right? And this particular friend actually asked to dance with me, his friend. I refused to dance because I'm loyal. So if I'm out, I'm only going to dance with that one man. I'm not like that. I'm a very loyal person, right? And woman. And in my particular case, the narcissist I was with, he prefers loyalty. That's one of the things that attracted him to me, and also gives him notice that I'm going to be a great supply for him. He didn't want a woman that's all over town sleeping with everybody. He's not looking for another narcissist where she got a bunch of supply like he do. He wasn't looking for that. His type is loyal women. So that's what I presented to him. And so that made me a great supply source for him, right? At that time. Now, I did not stay a great supply source, but I was at that time when you look back on it. So the memory lane Hoover is the narcissist tells me, such and such, was reminding me, we were at this location and reminded me and told me, this is where you met the advanced insight lady at, right? And of course, this narcissist, I pray to God that he don't know about my YouTube channel, okay? This is not a YouTube channel I've told him about. But this is what he says. He says, this is where you met her at, which is talking about me. Now, think about it. If that's true, this is how far gone the narcissist is. This means that he didn't think about me when he's there. Or if he thinks about me, it's very rare. So this is how little empathy the narcissist may have. His friend has to remind him of me. Or the narcissist could have been lying and saying that his friend reminded him of me. However, I don't think it's a lie. I think the narcissist was actually telling the truth, right? And the reason I say that is because this particular friend he's talking about has empathy and has a lot of compassion. He's actually someone that writes poetry. Okay, so he's someone that has enough soul to write a poem. And so there's empathy there in this gentleman, right? He's younger than my ex-narcissist, but he has empathy. So knowing this particular gentleman, that's something that he actually would say. He would remind the narcissist of me, right? And he's also, remember, this man was interested in me also. But I chose to date the narcissist over the other gentleman, right? So the narcissist used what his friend said to him to do a memory lane Hoover, right? And so what that was supposed to do was make me think back to when we first fell in love or when I first fell in love. However, it didn't work. This is why it didn't work, because I had already done the work myself, right? And so I had already, early when the discarding first happened, even before I started discarding the narcissist, because remember, they're not the only one discarding. You are too. They may Hoover you back in and you come back and get sucked back in with that narcissist and then you discard them. It's going back and forth. Not just narcissists discard. Not just narcissists discard and come back. Empathetic people discard and come back too, y'all. And we do it the most because we have so much emotional thinking. We may discard every 2 months and come back because we so in love and we missing this person. So we think, y'all. Okay. But really we have this addiction going to this person. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, you could call it a trauma bond or whatever, but you acting like you got an addiction because you can't stay away from it, just like you can't stay away from your candy or your chocolate. For those of you that eat too much candy or too much chocolate, it's the same type of philosophy with this narcissist. So This memory lane Hoover, be careful of this Hoover, y'all, because it can get you sucked back into something. And you can be back in this relationship 10, 20, 30 more years. And you getting back in this sick relationship for all these years based on one good memory. Healthy relationships have those type of memories throughout the relationship. You shouldn't be able to look back and say, oh, well, I remember that good time we had 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really look at that. However, it may be a good idea if you're in the early stage with the narcissist, if you're fortunate enough and more fortunate than I was, and you're on this video and listening to other videos, and you're fortunate enough to recognize it in the first discard, and it may be healthy for you to go back to that location where you met that narcissist and grieve over that situation not being what you thought it was. And if you do that work on your own, if later in the years, even after you have disconnected from this narcissist 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and this narcissist comes back with this memory lane Hoover, it won't work. Because you already did your own work. And so that memory of that first day meeting and that great time means nothing to you. And that's what happened with me. It meant nothing to me. It sounded like it meant more to the narcissist because he had to deal with the reality that he failed once again. His friend just brought up his failure. Because this particular friend, like I said, he liked me. Or liked me. He liked me, y'all. That's how I talk. He liked me. Okay. So that particular friend, I'm going to be honest. He may not have been physically what I was looking for, but he was a better catch than the narcissist. He would have treated me better. I'm just being honest. Just finding out more about that particular friend. And I'm not saying I should have dated the man's friend. But that man, that's not really his friend. That's more of an associate. That particular man that brought up the memory of me and the narcissist meeting was actually his other friend's friend, if that makes sense. So basically there was at least 3 people out. The narcissist, the other gentleman that asked me to dance, which is the narcissist associate, and then the other gentleman, which is the good friend of the narcissist and the associate of the narcissist that asked me to dance, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the memory lane Hoover, and this is a last desperate move when the narcissist can't get anything else out of you. When they see that no matter what bull crap they start, no matter what they do, they can't get you upset. If they discard, if they come back in your life once a year and say hi to you on the phone and discard you, it don't mean nothing to you. Because any memory that comes with the narcissist means nothing for you anymore. And this will especially apply when you're dealing with narcissistic people, which means they are not high enough on the spectrum to be a narcissist, but they just have a little empathy. But it's pretty much just going to be like you dealing with another narcissist. Okay? And so the memory lane Hoover, be careful, y'all. Anytime that narcissist starts bringing up any good memory that's more than 2 years old, that's the memory lane Hoover. And it's a dangerous Hoover because if you don't know that that man or woman is a narcissist, you're in for a lot of trouble. You are. You're in for a lot of trouble. A lot. Because you're going to be pulled back in something that narcissist don't care about anyway. I mean, in my case, the narcissist associate had to bring the memory up. So what that associate did was put me on that narcissist sphere of influence. He brought me on that narcissist radar. That narcissist probably didn't even care. That narcissist might not even care if I went there and passed out and died. I mean, you just don't know how people think. He probably don't care. That's why we never went back there. A person that really cared would have took me back there. However, that's past. That's past tense. Who cares? I wouldn't go back there with the narcissist anyway. Actually, I thank the Lord that that's not even a place I go to anymore. I had only went to that place on and off a couple of times. That area of town is not even a regular hangout or someplace I would go. That just was like a let me see what's over here type thing. Let me just get the experience of going in here to see what's in here. Almost like you're going to a new mall. That's how it was. And the blessing is this. Remember this. This is the other blessing in this that you may overlook. The narcissist needs to be there to get more supply, not me. My life has grown. I'm doing videos right now, so I don't need to be in this place. The narcissist could be at this place right now. But where am I at? I'm on my exercise bike doing videos. And that's what you got to start seeing. See, the narcissist's life, a lot of times, it's at a literal standstill. Everything's at a standstill. When I met the narcissist, I was not uploading these videos on an exercise bike. I was at work, moving around, walking all day and night and stuff like that, because at that time I had a physical job, right? No heavy lifting, but I had a physical job. I was on my feet a lot, right? Helping customers, right? So at the end of the day, that narcissist stays locked in that memory lane. They're locked in the memory lane. And they're steadily being locked in the memory lane because they're steadily picking up new supply from that location. I'm not upset with the associate that brought the memory up because I get to do this video. Don't go through a lifelong record and history or future, rather. Don't go through a future of more trauma and chaos and abuse because the narcissist brings up the memory lane Hoover and brings up that one good memory, which really ain't a good memory when you look at it, because what you didn't know when you met that narcissist that particular day or whatever memory they bring up, they might bring up a memory of your wedding day. It's not a good memory, not a genuine good memory, because that narcissist knew the whole time when that memory was in place that they were going to treat you really bad and they were not going to be honest, loving, and they weren't going to be a righteous man or woman for you. They knew that. That narcissist knew that. So what that does is that actually makes that a bad memory. It's not a good memory at all. So when that narcissist brings up that memory lane Hoover to get you drawn back in, think like this, y'all. That's a bad memory. And that's how I was silently thinking when the narcissist brought it up. Okay? You don't have to tell the narcissist all your thoughts, y'all. Keep some thoughts to yourself. You can't tell people everything that's in your brain. That's why it's your brain. And they shouldn't be telling you everything that's in their brain. Okay, so I'm going to end this video. I've been on this bike 30 minutes. I got me a small, or actually this is a medium little latte that I got from McDonald's. So yeah, so remember the memory lane Hoover, avoid it. Don't ruin the rest of your life over a memory lane Hoover. And this is why not to ruin the rest of your life over a memory lane Hoover. You're not going to have future Hoovers, or not Hoovers. You're not going to have future good memories with this person. You're going to have that one memory, and the rest of the memories are going to be like nightmares. Okay? You're going to have this one memory lane Hoover. You're going to get sucked back in, and then you got all these nightmares. The rest are nightmare memories. You already got enough of those with the narcissist. That's why you never relied on the memory anyway. However, I pray that you're not sleeping with the narcissist on a regular basis, because if you were never able to stop that part, it's going to be hard to stop that memory lane Hoover. Okay, so this video is to bring awareness, and I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this video, y'all. Again, please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope this helps you. And this is the memory lane Hoover. Bye.